I believe that a shareholder proposal can affect more change within the corporation that you don't like than a boycott, most of the time. But how do you write a shareholder proposal? How do you go about doing that? What's the process? I'm going to tell you right now. Now, before I get into it, I know a lot of people are going to get really irritated by this because when you're on social media, there is no winning. So if I say invest in the company, then people are going to say, oh, you're just a Wall Street plant. Wall Street, oh, you're just hired by the company to tell people to buy more shares. Or they're going to say something like, well, I don't want to give my money to this big evil company by buying stock. But there's something you need to understand. When you're buying stock in a company, you're not buying it directly from the company. You're not giving money to that publicly traded company unless you're buying it on the IPO, the initial public offering. Other than that, you're just buying and selling shares from other shareholders. So you're not necessarily giving your money to Tesla or Apple or Meta or any of the companies you might ethically disagree with. You're just buying it from someone who's selling their shares. Now, one of my issues with boycotts is that we live in outrage culture. We're upset about a new thing every 2 weeks, which means that we're not giving anything really the time and energy to fully boycott something, right? It's boycott Starbucks, and then everyone gets mad. I'm done. I'm canceling. I'm over it. And then 2 weeks later, it's no. Now it's McDonald's. And then 2 weeks later, no, it's Chipotle. It's Chipotle this time. Everyone boycott Chipotle. Oh my God, I'm gonna boycott Kellogg's. And nothing ever gets done because we're moving too quickly. So here's the benefit of a shareholder proposal. You draft something that is very specific that you want to change within that company. You pressure them to make a change, but it takes time. Here's why. So first of all, in order to write the proposal, you need to own stock in the company for a year, and you need to have either $2,000 invested or 1% of the company, whichever one is smaller. This is not for retail investors who will vote on this. This is just for the person writing the proposal. So here are some shareholder proposals. This is for Apple for their latest earnings or annual meeting. And you can see a couple of them here, like a report on ethical AI data acquisition and usage. And Apple says vote against it. So we as shareholders can say, no, I'm voting for this. So you as an investor would say, hey, I want to learn more about your AI data usage and whatever. That's going to be my shareholder proposal. And I'm going to then write a letter to the board of Apple saying, I would like to issue a shareholder proposal discussing the following. It doesn't even have to be a report. It could be something like, I want more diversity on your board of directors, or I would like more people of color on your board of directors, or more women on your board of directors, or I would like a more transparent transgender policy with your company, or I would like McDonald's, I would like less antibiotics in your beef, or anything like that. You would do a little research talking about the long-term benefits of this, why it's a good idea, not just for the company, but maybe for the planet or for investors. And you put all of this research in your letter. And then you issue some sort of resolution or a date by the time you want this thing to be done. Like, we would like you to remove plastic from your restaurant by 2032 or something like that. And the proposal has to be short and sweet, nothing more than 500 words. Now, once you've written your proposal, you have to go on the company's website or Google Apple Investor Relations. It will take you to a website. Sometimes there will be an email there where you can just email them. Other times you're going to have to do something that we all hate. You're going to have to get on the phone and you're going to say, hello, I'm a shareholder. I've written a shareholder proposal. Can you give me the contact information for where I can send this? Then you need proof of submission, like an email or certified mail if you're physically mailing the letter. And then you have to go and talk to the shareholders, which is where social media can be such a great place to do that. Hey everyone, my name is Kenneth. I'm a shareholder in this company and I dislike this new policy or direction they're going, or I want them to make this change, and let's mobilize and rally together and vote on this. Now, these shareholder proposals have to be submitted way in advance of the company's annual meeting. You can Google Apple annual meeting date and it'll show you the date, but you usually have to do this 100 days or longer to submit your proposal. You then need to go to a proxy advisory firm like Institutional Shareholder Services or Glass Lewis. And you need to get them on your side and you need to read all their information, and they're going to help you as well. They're also going to send out their recommendation to institutions on how they recommend that the institutions like BlackRock and Vanguard vote. You also want to get some big name investors on your side. So if you're on Blue Sky or something like that, and you reach out to someone like Mark Cuban and you say, hey, I've written this shareholder proposal. I would love to have your voice added to this movement. That would really help. And before people watch this video and go, oh, people on the left are so weak and sensitive with their little proposals to change corporations. Conservative voters can do this too, by the way. You can see right here, there's one that says, hey, Apple, we would like you to cease your DEI efforts. And Apple actually says, no, we want you to vote against their request. But they'll send out a ballot and you can vote for, against, or abstain if you don't have a preference either way. And then at the annual meeting, they will present the results. And if your proposal passed, they have to do it. And if it doesn't pass, then you can just file it again the following year. Point is, this is a long game. It takes a lot of time. This isn't like boycott Starbucks, boycott Chipotle, where everyone gets angry and they forget about it because there's a new protest or a new boycott a week later. Now, a lot of people will say this is a waste of time because the CEO can vote on their shares, usually disproportionate to retail investors. So for a company like Meta, if you have one share, you get one vote. But Mark Zuckerberg, for every one share that he has, he gets 10 votes. So yes, on the one hand, he could just crush us like a bug. But on the other hand, when you have institutions pressuring a CEO, sometimes the CEO goes, wait a minute, there's too much pressure here from outside sources that could hurt me, my reputation, or my business. Plus, those institutions could say, hey, if you don't do what we're asking, we're going to dump our shares. And institutions hold hundreds of millions of shares. So that would definitely hit them in their wallet a lot harder than, 2,000, 5,000, 100,000 people going, they're going to be on Instagram anymore. So this is just my preferred way of going about it. Shareholder proposals work from the inside to make the change you want to see.